Okay, how I solve these problems, the word problems with decimal addition and multiplication, totally depends on what the actual numbers themselves looks like. So you're going to see me solve each one of these problems in a different way, and I'll talk about how the different numbers and the methods that I choose, how they work. So the first one, a company bought New Year's greeting cards to send to its valued customers. 75 of the cards they sent cost $2.25 each. So I have 75. And this word each in a sentence indicates multiplication. 30 of the cards cost $2.75 each. And the remaining 36 of the cards cost $2 each. There's no numbers after the decimal there, so I'm not going to put the 0.00. I'm just going to leave it as 2. What was the total? Total means add amount spent on these cards. Well, the first thing you need to do is find out what each product is. So whenever I have a decimal with actual numbers after it, I'm going to use lattice multiplication for these, and here's how I do it. You have a choice between 2 digits or 3 digits, or 2 numbers or 3 numbers. So the one with the most goes on the top like this, 2, and you don't put the decimals in right now. And then the one with the least amount of digits goes on the side, and then you make a rectangle, splitting each digit with horizontal and vertical lines like this. And then I put a diagonal in each one of those boxes, like this. It's called lattice multiplication. Okay, then you do just up and over. 2 times 2 times 7 is 14, like this. 2 times 7 is 14. 5 times 7 is 35. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 5 is 25. Then what I like to do, because I'm a visual person, I like to actually take the diagonals, and if you have different colors, I'm going to make them different colors on the screen just so you can see when I'm explaining it, you can see actually what I'm doing with each one, because you have to treat each diagonal separately. Okay, so you start from the right to the left. The first diagonal is green, and that's a 5. You add everything in that diagonal. So the yellow diagonal, 5 plus 2 is 7. The orange diagonal, 3 plus 4 is 7, 8, so that's an 8. The red diagonal, 5, 6, and then the purple diagonal is 1. So now you look at the original problem, there were 2 numbers after your decimal, so you want 2 numbers after the decimal in the final answer. So that is $168.75. So I'm going to come out here and write it down, $168.75. Now I'm going to do 275 on the top and 30 on the side. Make your rectangle, split it with vertical and horizontal lines. Make a diagonal in each of those rectangles. And start multiplying. 2 times 3 is 6. 7 times 3 is 21. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 0 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0. And 5 times 0 is 0. So then, just for visual purposes while I'm teaching, I'm going to make each one of these diagonals a different color. Because you're going to add the diagonals after that. Okay, let's add those diagonals, starting from the right, working your way to the left. So I have 0, 5, you're just adding the numbers inside the colors. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 6 is 8, and then 0. Okay, the original problem had 2 numbers after the decimal, so you want 2 numbers after your decimal, so that's $82.50. $82.50. 36 times 2 doesn't have any decimals, so I'm literally, and this is a one-digit number here, so I'm really going to just do the traditional way of multiplying these. 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so that is 72. And I took out the decimal, so that means that doesn't have any decimals, but I could put 0.00 there. The reason I put these off to the side is because now we have to add all these. Now you want to keep your decimals lined up, so I'm just bringing the decimal down. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. Plus 2 is 13. Carry the 1. 7, 15, 22, carry the 2, 3. So, the total amount spent on these cards was $323.25. This next one I'm actually not going to use lattice multiplication at all, and I'll explain in a moment. A phone company charges each customer a monthly fee of $11.75. Everybody's got to pay that. In addition, it charges 5 cents per indicates multiplies, so that means the 5 cents needs to get stuck to the M, like this. For in-state calls, that's in-state. And here's another per, so the 9 cents gets stuck to the M. For out-of-state calls. What is the total? Again, you add those for total. For a customer who made 320 minutes in-state, so in-state was 320 and 52 minutes for out-of-state. Okay, the $11.75, everybody has to pay that. Okay, the reason I chose not to do lattice multiplication on this is because really for 5 cents you just have a single digit. So I'm just going to do 320 times 5. I only usually use lattice multiplication when I have more than single digits. So 0 times 5 is 0, 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1, and 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. 2 numbers after your decimal, so 2 numbers after the decimal, so that's $16 for the in-state calls. And the next one, again, I'm just going to do 52 times 9, because after the decimal you just have one digit. 2 times 9 is 18, carry the 1. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 1 is 46. 2 numbers after the decimal means 2 numbers after the decimal. So that's $4.68. You want the total, you line up your decimals. 5 plus 8 is 13. Write down the 3, carry the 1. 1 plus 7 plus 6 is 14. Write down the 4, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 6 plus 4 is 12. Write down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So the total charge for that customer is $32.43. The next one I'm going to use a little bit of a combination of normal multiplication, I don't know, traditional multiplication I guess is what you call it, and lattice multiplication. To participate in a baseball league, the required equipment for each player, so this is a list for each player, is a glove, a hat, and a pair of cleats. A glove costs $45.95. A hat costs $21.95. And a pair of cleat costs $34.95. I'm going to figure out how much it is for one person first. Okay, lining up your decimals. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. Write down the 5, carry the 1. 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 1 is 28. Write down the 8, carry the 2. 2 plus 5 plus 1 plus 4 is 12. Write down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 4 plus 8 plus 3 is 10. So one player costs $102.85. What is the total cost for a team? Total means add. For a team of 13. Well, even though total means add, we can actually also multiply in this case. If we take $102.85, let me space out the 5 a little bit better than that, times 13. Now this is where I'm going to use the lattice multiplication because I do have more digits than just one. Separate them with horizontal and vertical lines. It actually helps for you to make the lines a little bit straighter than I did, the boxes, but that's okay. Okay, separate those with diagonals, just like what we did previously. I like to space my numbers out a little bit when I do this. That's why I changed that 5 and spaced it out a little bit better. Okay, one box at a time. 1 times 1 is 1. 0 times 1 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 8 times 1 is 8. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. 0 times 3 is 0. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 times 3 is 24. 5 times 3 is 15. Then I'm going to do my diagonals. So just give me a moment to do that. Okay, going from right to left. The first diagonal, 5. You add the colors. 5 plus 1 plus 4 is 10. Now you write down the 0. You carry the 1 over to the next diagonal like this. Then you include that when you add. So that's 6 plus 2 plus 8 plus 1 is 17. Write down the 7. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. That's the red one. The purple one has just a 3. The bluish purple one has just a 1. Okay, the original amount of numbers after your decimal was 2. So we're talking about $1,337.05 for the entire team.